Okay, welcome back to this week's Conversations with Marléne and Pascale. This week, we are talking about intuition and self-trust. We're going to be having a think about how do we know what's the difference? And how do we know when it's intuition or overthinking? And what can we do to strengthen our intuition and our self-trust? So before we get into it, let's just do a little introduction. My name is Pascale Lane. I'm a therapeutic confidence and success coach, and I help women in business to be more confident, successful, wealthy, and abundant in all areas of their life.
And hi, I'm Marléne Rose Shaw. I'm a therapist and a coach and self-help author, and I specialise in relationships. I work with couples and I work with individuals. And I love helping people feel more empowered and communicate with courage, live life on their own terms, and have great relationships.
Fabulous. Okay, so I'm really in the zone of intuition and self-trust at the moment. Like I'm really on a personal journey with intuition and self-trust at the moment. So it's coming up in a lot of my conversations because I'm feeling it. So how do we know the difference between so we've said intuition, self-trust, we've said overthinking. How do we know the difference between intuition and am I just telling myself what I want to hear?
It's bloody hard sometimes.
It's really hard.
It's hard.
Really hard.
I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm the amazing therapist who knows the answer to this. I can tell you, I know when it's intuition.
Okay.
I know when it's intuition. I'm not always sure when I'm not sure if it's intuition, whether it's intuition or it isn't. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, that sounds to me like you're saying when I know it's intuition, I'm certain, and when I'm not sure, I'm not sure. The not sure is the not sure bit.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is when I'm not sure that it's definitely not intuition.
Yeah.
But when it is definitely intuition, I absolutely know it's intuition. And the way I know is I just know. I absolutely know. There's no question, there's no thought in my head. There's nothing that questions it or debates it or second guesses it. Or I also know it's intuition at certain times because of what comes before it. So quite often when I meditate, I'll have intuition very early in the morning when I first wake up, and I'm completely sort of uncluttered from other stuff. So I'm very open, and then I usually meditate when I get up in the morning. So somewhere either before I start meditating, while I'm meditating, or just after I'm meditating, I'll get downloads of thoughts and ideas, particularly around work, projects, creative projects I'm working on. Or it could be a question that I've asked about something I'm trying to figure out, or could be to do with a relationship. It could be all sorts of things, but it just comes in and it's so certain. It's not even like data coming in. It's just like, well, I always knew that and I've just remembered it. To me, that's intuition. What about you, Pascale?
I know it's intuition, and I actually learned this from working with my clients before I learned it for myself. I know it's intuition because I get a very, very strong feeling, and usually when I'm on the money, I get a cold rush through my body.
Ooh, do you?
Yeah. So if I'm working with my clients and I say something, at that moment I just get an absolute it's like somebody's just dropped a bucket of cold water on me.
Mm.
Kind of feel it through my body, and then I know that I'm kind of like really, really good. And a little bit like what you were saying earlier, like when I am doing it for myself, I will get a rush. I'll get kind of like it's not kind of like it's kind of like through my veins. I just get this cold rush. I'll get butterflies in my tummy. So I get a very physiological response when my intuition is on. The lack of self-trust tends to kick in for me if I'm excited about what I'm thinking about. If I'm excited about something in business, or if I'm excited about something in my personal life. And then I will also get a little rush of butterflies. And then I think, oh gosh, is that my intuition, or am I just excited about something? You know, like, and that's kind of like where that self-doubt comes in for me. Or like if I'm meditating on something and I get an idea, and then I'm like, oh, and this is like the whole self-trust bit, isn't it? Like, is this right? Like, is this going to be another kind of dead end or another mistake? Or actually, there are no dead ends and mistakes. Like, I've learned now that like everything is part of the process. Everything's part of the learning journey. But like I've really, like, as you know, we talked about this a few weeks ago, you know, because you're my friend. I've really kind of been tapping into my spirituality like a lot more lately, like really consciously connecting. And that in itself has been a real test of intuition for me, because even then I'm like, is this my spirit guides guiding me, or is this my ego just kind of telling me what I want to know, telling me what I want to hear? So it's so tricky, isn't it? Because you're right, like it's often such a fine line. But I think like overarching, we know when we're on the right path. Like we do intuitively know when we are hitting the mark. And that self-trust bit, the self-trust bit for me, Marlene, shouldn't be, and I say shouldn't be because this is something that, as I said, I need to practice and refine. The self-trust bit shouldn't be, what if I'm wrong? The self-trust bit should be, even if this isn't quite right, it will still be okay. Because I'm okay. And so because I'm okay, there will always be, I will always be, I trust in myself. I do trust in myself that actually I'm always moving forwards in the right direction. So even if I make a wrong decision, I trust myself enough that I will still be okay.
And that is really,
I need to write that down because that's a great post.
Yeah, write it down, make it post. So really, who are we trusting in intuitively? Are we trusting in our brain and our previous habits and our programming, or are we trusting in some higher power or inner power that will always take care of us anyway?
Well, I think that's an excellent question. I don't think we should be trusting in our brain, actually. I don't think that our logical response is always the best response. I think there's a third to that, a third entity to that. Brain, universe / spiritual beings, whatever you want to call that. And actually just our gut. If for anybody who is watching that isn't on board with the spirituality side of things. We are. So I know we lean into that massively. But actually, our body also, I did a post about this morning, actually. Our body will always tell us what's right. The problem is that our brain kicks in and then goes, oh, this is just my opinion. This is not like fact. Our brain then kicks in, our logical mind kicks in and goes, no, that doesn't make sense like that. You need to do it like this. But actually, all of the times I've listened to my brain and not my body, ways, because I can't actually recall every single situation. But the situations that come to mind the most, my body has always been right, and my brain has not necessarily.
And that, I think we can increase our ability to do that by just having a habit of asking ourselves, what am I feeling right now? What am I feeling? Because when we get very familiar with the language of our feelings, then we quite often feel our feelings as emotions through our body, don't we? So we get much more able to do that, and much more able to trust that intuition. I think it was Gary Craig who founded EFT, who developed EFT. I think it was him who said we have the cosmic guidance pool, and then we have data, and the cosmic guidance pool being the universal field of information that is our, what we might call our spirituality, our, what we call our intuition. And then we have data, I think, which we can sort of overlap with intuition, with the brain, and that is based on years of life experience. And there's nothing wrong with looking at that as well. And if we can put it all together, but I think, as you say, Pascale, we can't just rely on the programming and the information. We have to follow our gut, as you call it. And
like you said, right, like when we take the time, again, not something I need to practice more. When we take the time to go, right, hang on a minute, let me listen to my body, then we can use our brain to go, right, when we're feeling the feeling. I mean, this is maybe I'm going off on a tangent here, but I'll bring it back. When we're feeling strong emotions, our body is telling us something. Then we need our brain to go, right, hang on a minute, brain. What is going on here? What has the process of learning been over the years that my body is having this response to this situation? So we need the brain. But I think when we're asking a question, when we're looking for an answer, when we're trying to solve a problem and find a solution, yeah, I mean, you're right. We need both. We need a combination of both. We don't want to be all in the body, because also, like, our body will also like let us know when we're scared. So we don't want to always listen to the body. If we always listen to the body when we got not good butterflies, like uncomfortable butterflies, and we wouldn't do anything. So we need to be able to reason the two together. But I think I've had situations where in the past, like long ago in the past, and maybe not even that long ago in the past, I've taken other people's advice. I've done what I was told to do, like not in an authoritative way, but like what I was told to do, knowing in my body it wasn't the right thing to do.
Don't you? It's interesting, and you
knowing, but I had ignored it and led with my brain,
Mm.
And then at the end of it, thought, well, that was a really fucking stupid mistake.
I think every one of us, I think every one of us has done that, and afterwards with hindsight thought, why didn't I listen to that voice in me? Why didn't I listen? It was niggling me. I just knew. I would say to anybody who's watching this, who's thinking, well, what do I do when I'm completely going round and round in my head, trying to make a decision? Is it, shouldn't I? Intuition. Is it intuition? Should I follow my gut? Or am I right? Should I follow my heart, my head, my heart, my head? Because I think we all have that experience occasionally. And I would say if you get really stuck in it, the best thing is to just put it down and go and do something completely different. Just completely different. Just leave it alone, because when we do that, we free ourselves up to listen, to allow messages to come through again.
Yeah. And let me just end with a little bit of woo. Ask your guardian angels, your spirit guides, to show you the answer, and then step away.
Yes, and it's the stepping away. Yeah.
And then step away, but like ask for guidance on like whoever you like, how, whoever, whatever, however you want to call that guidance. Ask for guidance and then step away, which I think is sound advice, Marléne. And journaling
and anything that opens
journaling never ever lets us down.
No.
Never lets us down. I was talking about this with the lovely Ali at the Cost of Women last week, and we were talking about journaling, and just to kind of like reiterate that conversation to anyone listening. There's no right or wrong way to journal. Like, don't get hung up on like how to do it. Am I doing it right? Just pick up a pen and paper and write. Like, there are prompts, there are ways that you can be guided to do it, but don't get caught up in that. Just pick up a pen and paper and write whatever it is, whatever comes to mind. Or actually, in my case, a lot lately, actually what doesn't come to mind, actually just what kind of flows through my hand out onto the paper, which again is like amazing guidance.
Yes, just write anything, even if you write, I don't know,
just free writing.
Yeah, I don't know what to write here, so I don't know what words I'm writing down here, but I'm just letting the pen cross the paper and you'll be off.
Yeah, love it.
But intuition is a very strong thing. It definitely exists, and when we do know it, we really know it, don't we?
Yeah, and like, learn to trust it. Learn to accept that you do have the answers. Like, we can ask for advice, like we can ask for help, we can ask for advice, we can ask for guidance, but I reckon overwhelmingly we always have the answers within us.
We are much more empowered than we realize. We really are.
Yeah. We just don't know it because we've been conditioned, for whatever reason, to doubt ourselves, which is another conversation for another time. Let's not go down that, because we'll be here for hours.
We'll do it another time for sure.
Absolutely. Well, let's make a note and do that one for next time, because that would be a great continuation, actually. Yeah,
that would be brilliant.
But yeah, no, we've all got the answers within us, and got to just learn to be on board with yourself.
And think about all the times where you have trusted in yourself, or even tiny little things, really small things.
Yeah. Fab. All right, Marléne. Contact details in the comments below for if you want to get in touch with us. We would love to speak with you, help you, guide you, support you, heal you, or you heal yourself.
Help you access your intuition.
Help you access your intuition. All the good stuff. all the good stuff. We both offer a free complimentary call. And we both welcome messages in our inbox as well, if you prefer that too. Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's always great to do these conversations.
I love them. I love them. I've got such a big smile on my face.
I'll say goodbye and see you next time.
Fantastic. And yeah, we'll carry that one on next time, Marlene. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.